Hey there guys, today we're taking a look at Hello Neighbor 2 running on the AMD Ryzen 5 5500U. Now this is a pretty brand new game. It hit the Game Pass a little while ago. I have not gotten around to actually trying it out until recently, and I was pleasantly surprised to actually find that it performs pretty decently on this system. Now we're looking at the Ryzen 5 5500U paired with 16 gigabytes of RAM, and we are currently running at the stock 15 watt TDP. Now the level of performance that we're getting is pretty rock solid. The biggest downside is really those 1% lows. Now the 1% lows issue is not as bad as it might seem on here. It tends to really only drop when you do things like opening up the inventory. That seems to just cause like a mini stutter, but it really isn't as big of a problem just because of the fact that you're just opening up the inventory. It can be a little annoying, but for the most part it doesn't really ruin the overall gameplay, and our averages for the most part are at a really rock solid range. We're very close to a 60 FPS average. But again, those 1% lows are really the biggest drag, and even in the best situations it isn't exactly perfect. And if you look at those frame time charts, they aren't exactly the best looking. But considering that we are running this at the full 1080p resolution with the low setting, this isn't the lowest possible game setting. We can actually go all the way down to very low, and if we do that, we're looking at pretty much getting an over 100 FPS gaming experience. But visually speaking, it is a huge hit. I would recommend that you just play at low, but if you have problems with the 1% lows here, I would recommend just dropping down to very low. But if you're someone that is actually going to raise the TDP of the system, then that's a different story. If we go all the way up to 25 watts, things improve pretty noticeably. What ends up happening at this point is that our 1% lows get really smoothed out. We very rarely have moments where there will be stutter or anything like that. Again, opening the inventory does cause a bit of a dip, but it very quickly recovers from there, and it really doesn't cause any major noticeable issues. And now our averages are more than comfortably above 60 FPS. We're getting close to 100 FPS. And just in general, it feels a lot nicer to play. Now, unfortunately, you can't go up to medium graphics settings without dropping down to around 30 FPS. So there is a pretty major gap from going to the low settings to medium. Keep that in mind. I really would not suggest doing that. Visually speaking, the game doesn't look incredible like this or anything like that. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that this looks perfectly fine. But considering the level of performance that we're getting, I think this strikes a nice balance in terms of visual quality and actually really nice performance. I really wouldn't want to bump up to medium. I found that visually speaking, medium doesn't make really visually speaking a huge difference, but it absolutely murders the performance. While dropping down to the very low setting actually really impacts the visual quality, but we do see a massive increase in performance. So the settings that you see right now are the low settings, and I would recommend that you just play like that, as it really is the nice balance in terms of performance and actual gameplay. But again, this is a game available on the Game Pass today. If you are looking for a game that you can actually play on the Ryzen 5 5500U, even if you're just at the 15 watt TDP, you can still play it. And again, if you want to maximize that FPS, you can always play around with the settings yourself just to find whatever is the right balance of visual quality and performance for you. But I know that the vast majority of people out there just tend to use the presets. And if you're one of those people, then again, stick to the low or the very low preset. Don't even try to go anywhere further than that, because it's only going to ruin your gaming experience. But anyways, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.